Hello, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's a pleasure to have you on here. And my name is Ryan Simenyema. I'm a radiologist, medical student. I'm also a medical writer. I write articles for a couple of healthcare professionals. And I have a guest here. Her name is Ellen. Ellen, could you introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Kaneesha Allen, and I'm a registered nurse, and I'm new to freelance health writing.
Alright, so today is going to be an amazing day where I'm going to ask her some few questions about health writing, and she's going to give us her response to the questions. Alina, are you ready?
Yes.
Alright, the first question is, on LinkedIn or any other platforms, there are a lot of healthcare, writers on so many social media platforms, and they're kind of like new medical writers, right? So how do you what was the advice you have to give a medical writer or a medical new writer how to cope imposter syndrome?
So how to push through imposter syndrome being a new health writer?
Yeah.
I feel planning out the day the night before or your week the night before. Always continuing to learn what health writing is so that you don't feel insufficient. Being new as a health writer, reading books about health writing, listening to podcasts about health writing, and actually just writing will help you beat imposter syndrome.
That's amazing. So one thing I learned from what you just said is right. Just to keep writing no matter what happens, right?
Right.
That's amazing. This is a very simple advice to medical newbies out there. If you're not getting noticed by a lot of people, nobody is hiring you for a job, don't worry. You just have to keep writing. Once people are seeing your works, that creates what is called a trust for them to hire you to write. All right. The second question goes: what strategies or tips can you offer for health writers to effectively communicate complex medical concepts in a clear and concise manner? What do you have to say about that?
So as a nurse, I always take complex medical jargon that the doctor tells families and I make it simpler. So I always say that if you're talking to your friend that has no idea what nursing is or medical jargon is, you would want to talk to them as you're speaking to your friends and family. I think that's the best way to get medical information out that's easier for readers to understand.
Okay, so one thing I learned about this, everybody listen up, what I learned is you don't need to use a lot of technical words for people that not in the medical to read. You have to use make it understandable for a layman to understand that whenever he or she reads the write-ups, right? So if you're a medical writer newbie, all you need to learn is how to write people, right?
Right.
That's the human connection. You have to read because there are a lot of information out there. So why should I read from you? Why should I read what you just drew? I can't get this from other internet or any Google or whatever. So just have to have the human connection so they can just engage with people. That's lovely, Aileen. I really appreciate that. All right. The third one is now, like I said, in the era of abundant health information out there, for instance, the encyclopedia, if you go over there, you can see a lot of medical concepts and content, medical topics and stuff. So, how can health writers ensure the credibility of their sources, and how can we, help reduce differentiate between like the trustworthy and fake information between health writers?
So when I'm looking up a source for something that I'm writing, I try to look for original articles like journals, or anything that has like .org or .gov. I try to stay away from Wikipedia. I try to stay away from blogs that don't have original sources. It's more like opinionated. And I feel like that will definitely persuade readers you'll persuade readers that you are credible in your work when you have sources like that. Like the National Institute of Health is a common one that I use all the time.
Amazing. If you're like a new health writer, you need to learn these tips Ellen gave us right now. You need to be also up to date in terms of medical trends, right? You need to get in touch with a lot of topics, read a lot of journals, like Ellen said earlier. The fourth question is, what do you think about networking amongst health writers?
So networking is fun once you do it, but starting off it's a little intimidating because there are a sea of health writers out there in all sorts of genres. And then you kind of feel like you don't know enough. But once you start networking yourself on the topics that you do know, then you are in that you're on the same level in a way with other health writers. And then I've also learned that each of us brings something different to the table. And so that you should never compare yourself to other health or medical writers out there because you're going to bring something unique.
Yeah, one thing I learned about this is you don't need to be in competition with any medical writer out there. Just be yourself, right?
Be yourself. You're going to shine when it's time. Everyone starts somewhere. Yeah. But you definitely have to network to get there.
Exactly. Superb. Networking is very important amongst health writers. You need to, because there are people above you, right? Learn from them other than being in competition with them.
Exactly.
All right. What do you have to say about medical writers using ChatGPT, like AI? Well, do you support that, or what are the
So I'm 50-50. I've used ChatGPT when I'm stuck, and I use it in a way for creativity. I don't use it as a way to write a whole blog for me. For example, I was writing an article about a complicated issue. It's like bioavailability, and I was stuck on like key points. And so using ChatGPT, you can just say, what are some key points of bioavailability? Some key points will come up, and then it kind of helped me. It steered me in a direction where I could write on that topic. But I didn't take everything that it said and just used it as my own knowledge. I think it's a great tool when you're stuck and you need headlines, or you're stuck on a topic and you just need a little umph. But I don't use it to write a full blog. I don't think that's acceptable.
That's really amazing, Elian. I'm really impressed. Like, I understand what you just said about creativity in terms of using ChatGPT, because if you use ChatGPT to write your whole blog or anything, it's very obvious.
Yeah, it is obvious. It's the same words. I've seen it. Other people will say, write me an article on hypertension, and it's just very bland. It doesn't have your personality in it because you didn't write it. So But if you need help on how to start a topic or a blog on hypertension, it's great for that. But I wouldn't advise using it to write your whole blog. I don't think that's necessary.
Very superb. I really appreciate that. 100%. 100%. One more question is, what kind of documents should medical writers, be keeping their articles, when they're creating their website or portfolio? What kind of document should it be in Google Docs, WordPress? What kind of document is suitable?
I personally use Google Docs. I know that there are some people that use Microsoft WordPress, but I use Google Docs because I'm used to Google Docs. I think it's easily accessible. If you need something, you can use the app on your phone. So when I'm not at home and I need something done, I could use the app to finish up like a blog before going out to eat or something, or hanging out with my friends. It also has an editing option where if you send it to your client can actually edit it, and it's just easier. It's like a better communication tool for you and your client. So that's why I use it. And my program taught me that. I started a copywriting program 5 weeks ago to get familiar with sales writing, and we use Google Docs, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, that's really amazing, because Google Doc is easily accessible than other documents, right? So, amazing question. You've been amazing, guest speaker today, Allen. I believe that the audience is already learning something. Is already learning something. Yeah. One more question before we wrap up everything is, what simple advice do you have to tell, a health writer that is looking for like an opportunity to create a portfolio for herself to showcase her writing skills? What advice do you have to? Is it to start up the portfolio, or is it a gradual process? And also, is it suitable for medical writers to, when creating portfolios, to write up like feature posts and articles they were featured in? Is it suitable?
Say yes. So for a newbie starting out, I think it's important to figure out who your audience is. Because if you don't know who your audience is, it's going to be harder for you to target them. Once you figure that out, you could write sample blogs or a sample of maybe 300, 500 words of the topic in your niche. Then, if you were featured, I would definitely put that in your portfolio, because then that shows that you know what you're talking about, and that's what clients want from you. They want to know that you are capable of fulfilling you're putting out, and I feel like that's the route that I took, and it's been helping me out a lot.
Yeah, I do agree, because my last client didn't really tell me about like I should send my portfolio or something. He was like, I should like tell me what kind of organization that I was featured in. They were like interested in the feature.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Because it shows credibility.
Yeah, trust, to build trust, because if you're not featured in any article, it seems like your work is not that good for them to hire you or something.
Right.
So you said, you said something about audience. How do a health writer know their audience? Maybe on LinkedIn or on Instagram or Twitter. How do they know? How do they intend to know their audience?
So I do health writing because I'm a nurse, and I know everything about health, working in med-surg. On LinkedIn, when you are posting, there is an analytics section, and it shows you the people more involved in posts, whether it's writers, copywriters, whatever type of person that's reading your post. I mean, that helped me gear my audience. So for the most part, a lot of writers like or comment on my posts on LinkedIn. So I try to write toward other writers. If it were doctors, then I would try to write more, to doctors. But that's how I'm engaging my audience that way.
Amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, it's that 100% really, acceptable by me and also to the audience. Marlene, today is just like an amazing day talking to you. You having a lot of things to do in your schedule, and you having this free time to come up as a guest speaker on my channel. It's Kane, and I just want to thank you for this opportunity, and let's see the future it tells. Thank you so much, Ali.
No, you're welcome.
So, what is the last thing? What is the last thing you have to tell to my audience on on YouTube?
I will tell you, if you're interested in health or medical writing, do it. Don't wait. Don't psych yourself out. Anything is possible if you put your mind to it. So if you're interested, you should do it.
You heard? So you guys should put in work, whether you don't have any medical background. It's not a must that you have a medical background. Is that right, Aline?
Right. You don't need a medical background to be a health writer. It helps. But you are in public health or hospitality. Well, not really hospitality. Public health to be a health writer.
So you guys should put in the work. Don't wait for. Don't procrastinate. You should just say start now, not tomorrow, not next week, not next year. Today is the best time to start. Thank you so much, Aline. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I believe that in the future more of this, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Have a good day.
You too.
I cannot fuck with you, baby, you right. You are not for me, goodbye. You ain't shit to me. Shit to me. You ain't shit to me.